In this video, you'll learn how to buy an online business for sale, where to look, and how to evaluate a company for purchase. Before we get started, make sure you subscribe to this channel. That way, as I release more content like this, you will get notified. And if you are on YouTube, click on the alert notification button. For many people, running an online business is the dream. After all, a successful online business can free you up to live the life that you want on your own schedule and on your own terms. However, creating any business from scratch is a huge undertaking. Successful entrepreneurs spend months and years working to build their businesses, and overnight success is a myth, especially when you start a business from scratch. But what if you don't want to wait that long to make money? What if you want to run a successful business right now? Now, one of the top questions that I get asked is how long it takes to start a successful online business, and how fast can I replace my income and quit my job? Now, if speed is what you're looking for, then there's actually a much quicker way to own and operate an online company. And you might be surprised to learn that you can actually buy an online business for sale and find success right away. So let's take a look at how you can become an online business owner without having to start completely from zero. Now, here's what starting a new business is like versus buying an online business for sale. Now, when you start a new business, you are responsible for every aspect of bringing your dream to fruition. You need to figure out what product or service to sell, find a good domain name, fill your website with high converting content, and work hard to acquire customers. You got to pour money, time, and energy in creating a new online business, and you're not even sure that you're going to succeed. And this is especially true if you haven't validated your niche before you start. Now, on the other hand, if you buy an online business for sale, you can move forward from a stronger foundation and skip some of the painful steps that come with starting from scratch. Now, that being said, buying a business does not guarantee success. You still need good business practices, and it's vital that you put in the work around continuing to grow the business that you buy. Your success also depends on your ability to perform due diligence to make sure you are making a solid investment. Now, sometimes online businesses are up for sale because they are stagnant or declining, or they are built on a fragile foundation, and you want to make sure that you're buying a viable operation. Now, to give you an example, one of my friends purchased a personal finance blog back in 2016 that attracted millions of visitors per month. But what he didn't realize was that the SEO rankings were based on a bunch of questionable backlinks. And as soon as Google introduced the Penguin update that year, he actually lost the majority of his traffic overnight. So proper due diligence is critical, and it's actually a complex topic to cover. You have to know exactly what to look for, which often requires experience and some amount of expertise. Now, along the same lines, you also need to make sure you don't overpay. Consult a broker or someone experienced in buying and selling businesses so you know the multiples for the type of business that you actually want to buy. And then finally, before you pull the trigger, you need to realize that what you are getting into and fully understand the pros and cons of starting versus buying a business. So here are the advantages of buying an online business. Even though there's still work involved when you buy an online business, the good news is there's plenty of advantages to buying. First of all, if the online business is making decent money, it's already established a proof of concept. So whether it's a service or a product or an online store, a business with sales has proven demand. You already know what works for the company, and you can see what needs to be tweaked. If the business already has strong processes in place, you may not need to change anything. After all, you have a proven business model, and you don't have to go through 3 or 4 failed concepts before hitting on a recipe for success. Now, not only do you have a good proof of concept when you buy an online business for sale, but you also have an established customer base. You've already got loyal customers who are purchasing items from your store. And on top of that, the business probably has an email list. Since email marketing is one of the easiest ways to generate sales, having an established subscriber list is invaluable. You don't have to try to launch a product and market to a brand new customer base. That's already done for you. Instead, you can take the profits already coming in from the business and use the money to expand. So basically, you get to skip the whole building phase and move right to expansion. Now, another advantage of buying an online business is that you have access to all of their business assets. And in many cases, you get the following: employees who already know how things work and can make the transition really smooth, social media and other digital assets. These are important, so securing the Facebook, Instagram, Snapchat, Twitter, YouTube, and other accounts can lead to continuity, and you won't have to build up a following from complete scratch. Plus, you get the website and other digital accounts that comprise part of the business. Intellectual property like patents, trademarks, and copyrights can be very valuable as you move forward as well. Now, they are investments just like the rest of the business. And systems are what make a business efficient, and an established online business already has standard operating procedures in place. From sales and marketing to shipping and logistics, you inherit the processes that come with the business, and these structures will keep your business going while you learn the ropes. Supplier and business relationships can also be a big help. You don't need to vet vendors, and the former owner might be willing to introduce you to a network of partners and others who can help you continue the business. And with the right person leading, these assets can be grown into something even greater. When you buy a business, you're making an investment, one with an immediate return. So as long as you are competent and look for ways to grow and improve, the foundational systems, workers, and assets will provide you with a return. And then finally, if you need to get a loan to purchase the online business, or if you have plans to expand and need capital, it's easier to get if you buy an established business, because any lender can see the track record of a successful online business. You're less of a risk when you buy something that's already proven than when you try to build something brand new. Now, here are the disadvantages to buying an established online business. While there are definite advantages to buying a business for sale, it's not always sunshine and roses. You need to be aware of the risks. Sometimes even the advantages can turn out to be problems. Now, here are a few of the things that can trip you up when purchasing a business. Existing systems can be hard to change. Trying to improve an established methodology can be hard when the process is an integral part of the business. Now, this is especially true if the employees are invested in the current process, even if it's not the best system. Employees might not stay, leaving you in a lurch if the most knowledgeable people leave. Or you might not get along with the employees, creating a difficult situation. You might also lack control, at least at first. You didn't have influence over the development process or the brand development. Now that means that you might be stuck with some things, such as a brand image that you don't like, and that can be very hard to change. The business might be on a downslide. Maybe the owner is selling because they are worried about the future. You could be getting the business as it's poised for failure and lose everything. Now, once you purchase the business, you're in for the long haul, unless you can flip it quickly. Even though the hard work of starting and building the business is done, you're actually fighting against inertia in many cases. The business is already moving along in a certain track, and any major changes will involve a struggle. Additionally, if the previous owner made big mistakes that are just now coming home to roost, you're basically stuck. You might have to fix problems you didn't even cause, and it could lead to failure rather than success. All right, so let's switch gears and talk about the due diligence process and what to look for in a business for purchase. Now, once you know you want to buy, it's time to find an online business for sale, and your specific criteria will depend on your goals. Some people want to buy a business to pass the time during retirement and are satisfied with a steady income. But that is not the goal of this video. Below, I'm going to discuss the most important criteria for buying a business that you can easily grow and expand. And the best part about buying a business is that even if you only manage to maintain the current sales level, you will eventually make your money back over time. After all, most e-commerce businesses carry a 3 to 4x multiple, which means that you'll get your money back after 3 to 4 years, even if nothing changes. Now, first things first, finding the right online business is about value. And buying value is completely different from just buying something cheap. After all, the cheapest online business in the world can still be a terrible investment. So instead, your goal should be to find a business that you can double or triple within a year and return a significantly higher value than you paid. However, the search for value can often be counterintuitive. So consider the following two businesses that each make $1 million in profit. Business A is extremely polished. They have a fantastic website and are profitably advertising on Google, Facebook, and Pinterest. They have all of their email marketing flows in place, they have a strong social media presence, and they rank on the front page for all of their major search terms. Meanwhile, Business B is in a state of disarray. Their website looks like it was built in the 90s, they barely advertise at all, and they have zero social media presence. Now, which business of the two would you rather buy? Ultimately, your goal should be to buy a business that is doing well almost by accident. If the business owner is making a lot of money and he or she has no clue how to run an efficient business, then that is the type of business you want to buy. So bottom line, don't get caught up in just buying something cheap, and don't buy a business that is already polished with limited room to expand. You need to evaluate a business for sale based on potential value and upside. Okay, so here's criteria number one. Are the profit margins good enough? So first and foremost, you have to know the profit margin of the goods for sale. And when it comes to e-commerce stores, your margins are everything. So if you're looking to buy a private label business, then a typical gross margin is 66% or higher. If you're looking to buy a wholesale business, then a typical gross margin is 50%. If you're looking to buy a dropship business, then a typical gross margin is 10 to 30%. And ultimately, your gross margins will determine your budget for advertising and how well you can staff your business for customer support and pay for overhead. You also have to understand where the sales are coming from. Has the current owner been spending significant amounts of effort to prop up the business, or has it been generating its own revenue for several years? Are the numbers based on one-off sales? Is the revenue mostly generated from repeat business, or is the current business owner running unprofitable ads just to boost revenue? And when you are examining the net profit numbers, pay specific attention to any inefficiencies in how the business is making money. Criteria number 2, is the business model risky? Before you continue watching the rest of this video, you should check out my article on private label versus retail arbitrage versus dropshipping versus wholesale to get an overview of all the possible e-commerce business models. And when it comes to e-commerce, there are certain business models that carry a lot more risk than others. So for example, a dropshipping business is one of the riskiest businesses to buy because you don't own the brands that you sell, you don't control the supply chain, you don't control the price, you don't control the customer experience, and the margins are low. And understanding the way money is made, as well as the risk to the business model, is crucial. So for example, if you buy an online business that makes a lot of money due to Google ads or relies on SEO traffic, that could be a problem when Google changes their algorithm. If the business completely relies on Amazon for revenue, then that's a huge risk because Amazon can easily raise prices or suspend your account and put you out of business. So in general, you should avoid buying businesses that have a single point of failure. Criteria number 3 is, does the business have growth potential? The most important aspect of finding a business to buy is the potential for growth. Are there new market segments where you can move into? Can you expand a product line? Are there advertising mediums that the current business owner hasn't pursued yet? So for example, a good friend of mine purchased a business several years ago that made 100% of their revenue selling on their own website, but didn't have a presence on Amazon at all. So as soon as she started selling her products on Amazon, her business immediately tripled. Similarly, another friend was able to quickly grow a business he purchased because it lacked a strong social media presence. And as soon as he started advertising on Facebook, sales instantly doubled. Now, there are a myriad of criteria to look for when it comes to growth potential, but here are some of the most basic things to look for in an e-commerce business. Does the business sell on Amazon? Does the business have a high converting website? Does the business have a social media presence? Is the business advertising on Google, Facebook, Instagram, and Pinterest? Is the business doing Facebook Messenger marketing? Is the business doing email marketing? Can the repeat business rate be improved? Can important processes be automated with software? Overall, a good online business with value should have a solid foundation with room for improvement, and there should be plenty of room to grow. Criteria number 4, does the business have established assets? Now, in addition to growth potential, you must also pay attention to the established assets of the business. How large is the customer base? Does the business have a good distribution system? Carefully find out what assets are included with the sale of the business. You should have access to logos, trademarks, social media accounts, copyrights, email lists, and more. You might also want the workforce transferred over to you as well. So make sure you review the assets and make sure you understand their true value and how they can be used to leverage even greater returns down the road. Are you happy with the quality of the suppliers? Do you like the e-commerce platform? Do you need to switch hosting? Now, while these things aren't necessarily showstoppers, just make sure the value warrants the expense and inconvenience of switching website platforms, hosts, or shopping carts. Criteria number 5, are you familiar with the business niche? Now, consider the type of business you're buying. What's the niche? Does it focus on products or services? And do you understand the industry? Now, in many cases, it makes sense to choose an online business for sale that you can understand and that you have experience with. Maybe you've built connections in a certain hobby area, and now you want to be a business owner. Having knowledge and connections in the industry that the online business belongs to can help you shorten the learning curve. So for example, my friend Bill, he tends to buy skincare companies because he is very familiar with that industry. And in many cases, he can leverage his existing infrastructure to cut costs dramatically and immediately 2x his bottom line. Criteria number 6, SEO. Now, in order to run a successful online business, you often have to dig into the nerdy stuff. Where does the site get its traffic from? Does the site have a strong backlink profile? How is the conversion rate for search queries? You must understand how SEO works. An online business might be well placed in the search engines right now, but what happens in 2 months when you realize that the business has been using black hat techniques and everything disappears overnight? Other items to research before you move forward buying an online business for sale include pending legal actions, complaints about the company, brand image issues, the full financials, any outstanding liabilities, who actually owns the website, information about the current owner and the founders if they are different, why the owner is selling the business right now. In some cases, it can be a good idea to get a business analysis from a trusted firm that performs business valuations. An outside professional can review the most critical items and help you determine if the business is viable and if it's a good value overall. Now, here's where you can actually find an online business for sale. If you want to buy an online business, there's mainly 4 routes that you can take. You can contact the online business owner directly. If there's a site that you like that looks profitable, find out who owns it and just reach out to them directly. You can use a Whois lookup to find the owner of the site and use tools like SEMrush, Alexa, and Ahrefs to do a little research. And if the owner is willing to sell, you can strike a deal. Or you can use a broker. There are also brokers who help connect buyers and sellers in the online business world, and they can do a lot of the legwork for you when it comes to making a purchase for a price. You can also look at marketplaces where business owners will list their own websites. Look through potential ideas, do your research, and make sure you're getting good value before you make an offer. And then finally, you can consider auction sites. An auction site is similar to a marketplace where the owner puts something up for sale. However, would-be buyers make bids on the sites, and the winner gets to claim the online business for sale. But no matter where you go to find an online business, it's important that you thoroughly research and complete your due diligence. Check to make sure that the business is a good value and that you know exactly what you're getting. Now, here are some of the best places to look when you're ready to buy an online business. So my recommended business broker is QuietLight. I've been working with Joe Valley for many years, and QuietLight is one of the best business brokers out there. And the main reason I prefer QuietLight over the other competing firms is because they go above and beyond to help educate you. Joe and his team are always available for questions, and they will hold your hand throughout the entire process. Check the link below if you want a link to sign up for QuietLight and get a free business valuation. Now, some of the recommended marketplaces that I use are Flippa, Shopify Exchange, and BizBuySell. And they're convenient if you want to do your own legwork and find businesses to sell on your own. So bottom line, buying an online business can be a great way to invest in yourself and your future. And if you're sure you're ready to be a business owner and you complete your due diligence, it's possible to use a turnkey operation on the web to generate cash flow and move one step closer to living your business dreams. Hope you enjoyed this video. Now, if you like what you saw, there's actually a lot more where that came from if you subscribe to my channel below. And if you are interested in learning how to sell physical products online, then click over here and take my free 6-day mini course where I'll walk you through everything that you need to know to get started in e-commerce. Thanks for watching.